All right, welcome to week 13. If you're joining us, we're going to see if we are sideways like we're hoping we are. It looks like we are correct on the camera now. This week we are going to actually be covering the Cellerciser and the benefits of it versus regular traditional exercising. So we're going to do a main focus on that after we have all of the question and answering and the testimonials that go on the beginning. We've got a few people joining us now, so if you'll give us a quick shout out of where you're from, like it if we're in the right direction. I'm hoping we're not upside down or sideways anymore. Okay, hi Tammy, thank you. Hi Jill. Hi Larry, we're so glad that you're with us today. If you want to let us know where you're from, some of you we know, some of you we don't, because you may be with us new. Hi Liz, thanks for joining us. Hi Christina from Atlanta, joining us a little bit late. Hi Carrie. Hi Vitor, we're glad that you make it with us every week. We're so grateful. We know that this should be when you are sleeping. Hi Lynn from Pennsylvania. Hi Jill again from Virginia. And Jill, I saw that post about the pollen there. Is it still horrible there? Hi Robin. Hi Angelia. We're so glad you're with us. Tammy's from Canada on the West Coast, White Rock. Hi, Vitor again. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll keep seeing as things come through. We're glad you're with us. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about Cellercising, the benefits of it versus traditional exercising. But before we begin, let's read these few testimonials that came in that were wonderful. They make it worth everything that we do here.
Thank you, Christy.
And all the support that you guys give us. These people are doing very well because of the support that we get in our Cellerciser group, that it's grown phenomenally, and we thank everybody who takes the time to let us know. Hello Debbie from Arizona and Marilee from Michigan. Hi Melinda. Go ahead.
You know, it's so exciting to see our Cellercise family growing, and it's not just within the United States, it's growing internationally. And each one of you who keeps sharing your testimonies, your experiences, supporting each other, that's why we call this the Cellercise family. It literally is. We've had a great opportunity to work with several people this week that had specific issues. I've had a chance to work with some doctors, with some nurses. We're spreading, and the information is spreading. So yes, let's share just a couple of testimonials. I want to thank Cindy for this one, and I think she gave me permission to read it. It's real exciting because I know the body, we all know the body, has got a great incredible potential to adapt to its needs without having to be manipulated with outside influences. It's within us, and we have the ability to reach within ourselves and reach that greater health potential. Cellercise goes a long way to help us do that, and I'm going to give you a few examples. Recently, I bought the trifold Cellerciser, and within 2 to 3 days, the red raised pus-filled spots on my rear end started healing, and they're no more, they're gone. I was just waiting for some eruptions to occur shortly thereafter because I constantly battled this, and trust me, my husband knows and sees these scars on my rear end from the breakouts and bleeding and tears on my skin. Well, it's been a month now doing just 10 minutes of bouncing and some of the routine stuff that David Hall shows us on his 10-minute workout about 2 to 3 times a day. And no more raised eruptions anymore, exclamation points. I couldn't believe it, but my husband said, wow, this must be the Cellerciser you are doing since I've done nothing different in my life. Anyways, also my digestion and my husband's digestion are so much better. We didn't know having a bowel movement should be so easy. We are regular now, and sometimes we go 2 times a day. Also, I used to get frequent diarrhea, and now this twist bouncing that Dave Hall teaches us, I believe has really made my bowels normal again. I've been battling this diarrhea for so long, like 5 years. Now, a lot of that's personal, but a lot of people are dealing with those personal issues and many different types of issues. As we create homeostasis, circulation, balance, and challenge the body in the proper way, the body responds. And that's what's happening. The body is responding. I am sharing this all with you so that everyone knows that this Cellerciser is different from all other rebounders, and I believe it's the best. Trust me, I do a lot of research. as many of you have. Also, what rebounder company do you know of that you can get wonderful, humble, truthful people who will chat with you online and call their phone number and talk with Jerry? Jerry's my vice president. Many of you have met him. He's been with me for 20 years. They're really not trying to sell anything, since the Cellerciser really sells itself. They just want you to get blessed and have all the benefits, and so do I. That's why I'm writing this. And to top this off, my husband, who is sort of a skeptic, after seeing my red spots disappear, tried the Cellerciser for 10 minutes only one day in the morning. And that day, all day, he did not have any bottom foot pain from plantar fasciitis. He constantly needs to roll his foot on a golf ball to try to ease this bottom foot pain midday and at the end of the day. He carried this golf ball in his pant pocket at all times for years. So the next day that he did this routine again on the Cellerciser, he felt so energetic and no foot pain. Now my husband has so much energy. Like me, he is doing things for me, like washing my car, which he always used to do. But now this Cellerciser has given him new energy, oxygen to his cells, etc. He is helping with the dishes, etc. Ladies, if your husband is tired and burned out, or you're tired and burned out, please get a Cellerciser. And who knows what else your body will get improved or eliminated. Lastly, we are getting more things done every day just by adding the Cellerciser to our daily regime. It gives us energy versus taking away energy. We're going to talk about that. I tried to go on my stationary bicycle and jog. I would get a little energy rush, but then some aches and then get tired. But with the rebounding on the Cellerciser, we actually are oxygenating all of our cells so that we have all energy all day long, constant and steady. We can breathe deeper too. God bless Jerry for the great customer service, and God bless Dave Hall for making this Cellerciser rebounder the best. They are both so real people, hard to find in this world. Love and thank you. Thank you, Cindy, for sharing that. Okay, one more, Judith. And all the videos you folks post, it's done the job of getting my bum off the chair and on the Cellerciser. I've only been doing the health balance for the last week because my balance is still not quite there. But I am noticing huge, and she capitalizes that, gains for a 63-year-old who mostly sits around the house. I used to have trouble going up and down the stairs to do laundry. Blew out one of my knees years ago. Now I'm bouncing Baja down the stairs. There's an improvement to small muscle movement too. Just ordinary things like bending over to load the dishwasher is no longer a creak, snap, pop, tiresome ordeal. This is pretty amazing. I seriously love you, my new tribe. That's, how can you not enjoy this kind of work in helping people? Typical exercise. And I've talked a little bit about this. It tears down to build up. It treats the body as muscle groups and body parts. I like to equate it similar to the pharmaceutical industry or even the health industry, where you fill your cupboard up with all these various different types of drugs that deal with all these different body parts and body functions. When in reality, the body literally, collectively as a whole, it communicates as a whole. When you treat it as parts, nothing wrong with it, but when you do, you limit the effect only to a certain part of the body, and then you have to do another part of the body and all these different body parts. With Cellercise, it treats the entire body collectively as a whole. When you tear down to build up, you have to wait a day. They say do it every other day because the body literally has to heal itself. So you tear down this muscle, and we know that it tears, and you have to patch the tear with more proteins, and then you tear the tear and it patches the patch, and you get these, great big muscles. Mine aren't really big, but they're healthy. I'm not tearing them down. I'm building them up, but I'm building up everything collectively together the whole time, and it's not just muscles. See, we're building muscles, bones, connective tissues, ligaments, tendons, skin, collagen, protein fibers. It's weight bearing on everything, including, and this is unique, including the fascia. And there's going to be more research done on this. When a person has superhuman strength and balance and they're able to lift a car off of somebody, how come they're able to do that? What gives them that kind of strength? Research is showing us that it's not just those muscles and ligaments that are doing the lifting, and if it was, you'd probably herniate a disc or blow out or create another problem by tearing some tissue. But when you Cellercise, you have this incredible amount of strength because it's weight bearing on the fascia, which works through the entire body. And I truly believe the fitness industry, when they catch on to this, and you've seen me do the strength and balance test, when they catch on to this, it's going to be a wake-up call for the ability of athletes to perform to a higher level. Because when you train treating the body as parts, obviously the parts that you miss, ligaments and tendons, take longer than muscles to catch up to the strength of the muscle. So blowing out a knee or hurting a shoulder becomes more of a common occurrence within athletics because the ligaments and tendons have not had time to catch up to the muscles. So one of the advantages of Cellercise is that 100 times a minute, you're flexing every single cell membrane, not just certain muscle groups, even though you can focus on muscles. And another advantage of Cellercise that you don't get with typical exercise is performance ability. When I alter the angle of my body slightly, if I alter back this direction and I'm leveraging weight by kicking my legs out in front of me, every time I come down, that's a lot of weight. But what's unique that you don't get with other exercises is that over time I become strong in an altered position. Now think of that in terms of athletic performance or any performance. When you're in an altered position and you know you're strong in that altered position and the person opposite you is not, that's going to give you a competitive advantage. When I took a wrestler here in town, a high school student, and I helped train him on the Cellerciser, he went on to win state. I worked with a basketball team, and the year that I worked with the basketball team, they also went on to win state. And you think, well, it can't simply be the Cellerciser. Of course not. There's talent involved too. But if Cellercise gives them that competitive advantage, isn't it worth it? When I taught the SWAT team in North Las Vegas, the program, every SWAT member there ended up getting their own Cellerciser. Why? Because it gives them a competitive advantage over the other person. And in their profession, that's very important. So whatever the case may be, whether you're a firefighter, whether you're a martial artist, whether you're involved with, in the police force, and I've worked a lot with them, or the military personnel, if we can help you develop stronger, healthier, more flexible muscles and body parts, and so that you're not hurting yourself, then you're going to perform better and you're going to have a better quality of life. So I wanted to talk briefly about that, and I took a little bit more time than I wanted to, but thanks,
You're great,
Kristen.
and thanks, Elizabeth, for answering the question. We had a viewer ask us what fascia actually was, and she took a moment to explain that. So
surrounds the whole body, all the way through the body.
All the way through. So we've got some questions that I'm going to ask here, and then we'll go into more depth with that, if that's okay, showing us maybe some beneficial techniques and things that people can, and we'll go over my routine. So.
Good. Oh, good.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So, is using resistance bands for arms on the Cellerciser a no-no?
Well, you can use resistance bands. Resistance bands aren't like weightlifting. Weightlifting, if you use weights on a Cellerciser, a 2-pound weight when you're bouncing with it is not 2 pounds. And you don't want to hurt your ligaments and your tendons. But a resistance band is just very similar to adding your own resistance. You're not tearing down, but you're applying weight as you're bouncing. So the increase of weight from the bounce is effective. The increased circulation while you're doing the movement is effective. And the muscles are getting stronger. Now you're focusing the effect on certain muscle groups, nothing wrong with that, because collectively the entire body is still always involved.
Okay, perfect. All right. Can you improve, is it Raynauds? Is that how that is? I'm going to show you this right here.
Okay.
And if yes, what is the best moves? I still have struggles with my fingers and toes during the cold weather.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know what that is, but it's
all right, Jill, give us a quick little, remind us what that is, and then we'll be able to go from there. So we'll come back to that question here in just a minute with Jill. Is that okay?
One of the things I want to talk about, though, with people that have arthritic conditions or problems with bones and joints, when you're on a Cellerciser, and this is one of the techniques that I teach, if you put your fingertips straight down and gently move up and down until you can feel a pressure or a throbbing at the tips of your fingers. Now, it may take a little bit of time for some people, but as you move up and down, the moment you feel that throbbing, the lymphatic system and the circulatory system is now working throughout the entire body, through all of the extremities. That's what we want. The lymphatic system holds a negative pressure, so that causes suction. As you're moving up and down and you feel that pressure, then you start moving your bones and joints. You start moving those areas because the lymphatic system creates a vacuum system of suction. So as you're moving up and down and it is sucking, and then you're moving your bones and joints, you're helping to improve circulation in between the bones and joints. And that's helping to flush out dead blood cells or white cells that have gotten in there and gotten too big and they've exploded and because they're trying to eat up the metabolic garbage and waste, and we're flushing those out so we can improve the overall health and quality of those.
Okay, so this is what she said.
Okay.
The Raynauds disease is a rare disorder of the blood vessels, usually in the fingers and toes. It causes the blood vessels to narrow when you are cold or feeling stressed. When this happens, blood can't get to the surface of the skin and the affected areas turn white and blue.
Right, thank you. Thank you. Cellercise, what it does is as you're moving up and down, all the fluid in your body is moving up and down. The blood is moving up and down through the circulatory systems. And those blood vessels have one-way valves that keep it moving up toward the heart. So as you're moving up and down, you're back flushing the valves because of the gentle pressure changes. As you back flush the valves, the blood vessels expand each time you do it. So it starts to open up the blood vessels and it starts to clean out the blood vessels so you have better circulation. If you look, I don't know if you can see it on me or not, but yeah, it's a little dark. But as I move up and down, my blood vessels, after I've done a Cellercise routine, they look like I've been pumping weights, lots of weights. Well, I am, my own. And that pumping of the weight opens up the circulatory system because it's moving and flushing and changing and helping to change our blood chemistry so the blood cells can flow more freely instead of being sticky. Sticky blood cells can't circulate as well either. As we move up and down, remember I mentioned it on another episode, is that the blood cells have a sodium-potassium pump. They're positively and negatively charged just like a battery, and so as they're moving up and down, they generate a field of energy around themselves that separate them from each other. It imbibes those blood cells with more fluid. So instead of being deformed and sticky, they actually become much healthier looking. And now the separated blood cells through the movement up and down can move more freely through those capillaries and improve that circulation.
So does it help strengthen the valves of the heart as well?
It can. It helps make it easier on the heart. And I've got that testimonial of a lady who, I'm going to turn it over for you. I'm going to grab that testimonial. I want it because that's a great question.
You're going to turn it over to me? That's scary. Okay, I'll come back. Okay, hi Teresa. We're glad that you're with us. We're going to shout out to a couple of you that are here. I need to be able to bring this backwards and see where everybody's from. And I just messed that up, so I apologize. Okay, here we go. Okay, Guylaine, I hope I said that right. We're glad that you're with us. I've seen a few of you on here that we are going to be asking questions with that posted them, and I'm so glad that you were able to join us. One thing that I wanted to bring up quickly, those of you who have joined the Healthy Accountability Cellerciser site that Tamara Sager is our host for, she put a 30-day challenge out there that we started today, and I think it's fantastic. So, and you do it at your own speed. It's not a set routine, so if anybody wants to join that, that would be a fantastic thing to join because it kind of gives you motivation when you have other people who are checking in and seeing if you're keeping up with your routine. So I have put in for her 30-day challenge, which is going to be a challenge when I go on my vacay, but I'm going to work on getting a trifold so I can keep up while I'm gone.
Good.
So anyway, he's going to go ahead and finish reading that for us.
So you're talking about the valves in the heart, and I'm going to share an experience of one of our customers, which is absolutely beautiful. And something I want you to keep in mind is you're moving up and down, you're pumping with the heart. So you're helping to move fluid and blood through those one-way valves, making it easier on the heart and the collateral muscles all around the heart. But she goes on, and remember I talked about sticky blood cells. Well, when blood cells are sticky, it's harder for the heart to pump sticky blood cells through the body. And when it's harder on the heart to do that, blood pressure can go up, poor circulation. As you mentioned, we can have Raynauds type issues in our fingers and extremities of the body where those capillaries get smaller. And if blood cells are sticky and not able to get through those capillaries, we're going to have other symptoms of poor health and body functions. So she writes, she says, "Thank you, David," all capitalized, 5 exclamation points. "A valve in my heart went bad and I was seeing a cardiologist. I had to have several tests done as the valve worsened. A nuclear test was performed and I was at 52%. I was so weak and achy. It was very hard to do my job at UPS, unloading trucks and working. But one day a gentleman picked up a package and inspected it at my office." So he actually picked it up there. "It was one of your units. I was so impressed that I got one too. I jumped to save my life, and I certainly did not want open heart surgery to replace my valve. Didn't have time for that. I am blessed and happy to say after jumping for several months, another nuclear test was performed." All capitalized. "I was at 70%, exclamation points. My cardiologist asked what I was doing. Jumping on your trampoline was the only, capitalized, thing that I was doing differently." Lots of exclamation points. I love this. She said 70 was the low end of the normal range and I didn't need surgery anymore. "I have continued to bounce because if I stop, I do feel my heart weakens again, along with several other symptoms of poor circulation." Remember, we were talking about sticky blood cells. "So I bounce to keep my heart strong and my feet pain-free. I continue to work at UPS. I've gotten a second job too. People are always commenting on my spirit, energy, and youthfulness. I am 52 but look younger. I am so very thankful to God for directing me to your rebounder and for his leading you to do what you have done. I know that you were sick for a while and that the illness prompted you to begin your journey with rebounding. He truly does use everything together for good. I tell everyone I can about rebounding and about your Cellerciser. Again, thank you so much. May God keep blessing you, Camille."
Perfect.
So I hope that answers the question, but keep in mind, when we're Cellercising, every body function, thyroid is being massaged, the adrenals are being massaged, liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, they're all pineal gland, they're all being massaged because we're weightless over 100 times a minute and then we have weight on the body and we're doing it collectively throughout the entire body. Tell me another exercise that does that. I don't believe there is one. And you can't compare it to an aerobic impact sport because an aerobic impact sport shatters the nervous system, creates stress or tension in the body. If you want to do it, great. You want to do long distance running or marathons, great. I suggest you Cellercise first to get the circulation going and in between the joints, and then you Cellercise after. So you have a longer opportunity to be able to enjoy those activities. I'm 62, I'm going to be 63 this year.
Oh, you got some time.
Yeah, and I'm still doing the same things I was doing in my 20s and 30s. It hasn't slowed me down. I don't do flips and things like I used to do in college, but maybe I can. I don't know. I just haven't tried it. But virtually everything else. We can enjoy a good quality of life. Our body is constantly replacing itself. We can replace it with stronger, healthier, more efficient cells at any age. In fact, I'm going to share one more. A gentleman calls me up. I think I may have shared this last week. I'm not sure. Calls me up to say, thank you. And I said, for what? He says, well, 20 years ago, you introduced me to Cellercise. And I've been using it now for 20 years. I've watched all my friends pass on or be involved with all kinds of drugs and medications. And I'm still enjoying a great quality of life. 20 years ago, I was in my 70s. He's in his 90s now. I really appreciated that. So
that's great. Okay, so there are a lot of questions coming through here. Don't think that we won't answer them.
Good.
They will get answered. Okay, we're going to move on here really quick. Would you recommend rebounding when you have a pinched nerve? And is the health bounce the best, or are there other moves that are better for a pinched nerve?
Yeah, it depends on where the pinched nerve is and how to address it. But if it's in the back, if it's in the upper back, I teach a movement that I developed many years ago on the Cellerciser, where you lie down on the Cellerciser, put your feet up on a chair, little pillow behind your head, and then I gently bounce you up and down. Or somebody stands over you, they straddle you. And as you're...
And that's great for pregnant women too, isn't it?
Oh,
because it takes that pressure off and allows them to have some relief.
I believe the baby, and I haven't interviewed a baby yet, but I believe the fetus or the baby inside would appreciate that too, because that movement creates more embryonic fluid circulation, oxygen. Okay. But you bet. So this movement up and down, just like this, where they're lying there, you're bending at the knees, and it takes all the vertical pressure off of the disc and off of the nerves. So you're laying down horizontally now. The nerves not being as threatened can start to relax, and the muscles can start to relax. And so as we're gently moving up and down, it's a deep massage, not a surface massage. Absolutely amazing. I think I've shared this, 3 women fall asleep on me in live sessions as I was talking to the audience, because it's that relaxing. So it's gently moving up and down. We do this for a few minutes, and then I rock side to side. As I gently rock side to side now, I loosen up more of the tension and more of the muscle so I can get more circulation between the vertebral joints to the nerve and help reduce the inflammation, relax those muscles, and increase circulation so we can help expedite the healing process. And it has been extremely effective in the lives of a great many people. In fact, Maggie is on our DVD, Cellercise, the Ultimate Exercise. She'd been in a car accident, or truck hitter, I guess, and wasn't expected to live. And her story, she tells part of it at the very end of that DVD. Cellercise helped her when nothing else was.
Is that the DVD we're going to give away today?
Yes, that's the DVD
we're going to do that in a
away.
minute. We'll get to that in just a minute. Let's get through these. Some of these we won't be able to touch, but we will get them answered. Roxy is with us, and she is brand new. They're still waiting for their Cellerciser to arrive, unless she managed to get it today. But she's wondering if this will help her husband with apnea. He has sleep apnea.
I have heard people that have said that it has. When we're moving up and down, all the tissue in our throat and our nose, our sinus cavity area, all of it has weight on it over and over. Now, as gravity pulls down over time, everything starts to fall. Same principle with internal organs. We're in our mid-20s, everything sits up here. But we get our mid-30s, everything that sits up here now sits down here a little further, because those connective tissues surrounding those internal organs have gotten weak and the body starts to fall. Gravity starts to win. When we're young and we're bouncing up and down all the time and jumping up and down, well, those connective tissues remain firm. A lady wrote me a beautiful testimonial. She said, David, as I was hitting midlife, I felt like everything was headed south. She says, now that I'm in Cellercising, I feel like everything's headed north again. Well, there's no reason to think that that's not happening on the inside as well, so that movement up and down helps to tighten and tone from the inside out.
Okay. So tell us about osteoporosis and Cellercising. You do have that one testimony of that. Was it her T-score?
Yeah.
That she changed?
Yeah.
Okay, and we
the
did
doctor
talk about that.
Doctor said that wasn't possible, but she'd been tracking her T-score for years.
So she can't, there is a benefit from that. We'll find that and post that as well. It
creates osteoblastic activity, which is weight bearing on the bone structure, but not by jarring it. You don't have to hit a hard surface. Being in weightlessness, when the astronauts are in weightlessness, they can lose up to 15% of their bone and muscle mass in just 2 weeks because there's no weight of gravity. You come back down and the body starts to adapt to the increase of weight. It's the weight that causes the body to utilize the mineral content to strengthen the bones. Well, as we're Cellercising, it's weight bearing on everything, including bones. So that the body, we send the message, the body adapts to the message that we send it.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. This gal wants to know if there are any suggestions for Cellercising for her with prolapse issues.
Okay, good question. And again, when it's a medical condition, I'm obligated to say consult with your doctor or have your doctor give me a call. I work with doctors all the time. And I share with them the different approaches that we have so we can find an approach that would be best suited for you. But by sitting on the Cellerciser, we take all the vertical pressure off of the lower abdominals and including the uterus. So that whole pelvic area. So as we support ourselves with our hands and we start to move up and down, I'm working with the stomach muscles. When you get strong enough, you can take your hands away. But this is helping to sit back a little bit and move up and down, so the muscles that support the whole area here and the connective tissues that surround the uterus is going to firm up. And as you get stronger, of course, I teach the graduated movements where you can sit back a little bit further and you're working more intensely down here. Or you're lifting a leg up, lifting another leg up. Eventually you're lifting up both legs, bouncing a little higher. That's all being done with those stomach muscles. And it's working from the inside out.
Alrighty, okay. I broke my ankle 20 years ago and it still gives me trouble. I've been Cellercising for 7 weeks and it has strengthened but still gets sore. I know ligaments and tendons take longer to heal, but are there any specific movements or exercises I can do? I seem to have the most twinges of pain when I transition between exercises. And I know people have actually, before he gets on here, have asked you to wear a lighter color sock, and I have failed to bring you lighter color socks. So next week, we will have the lighter color socks so they can see your foot placement better on the mat.
Okay.
Is one of those things, but
all right.
We're still good here.
Sounds good. I'll do that. Thank you.
Just so you know.
You know, those colored socks, colorful socks are real popular right now. The kids got me some of those for Christmas. I should wear them because we'll see those. Okay. So ankles, rocking side to side, hips, thighs, knees, some movement in the ankles. Stepping across side to side is going to work the lateral ankles, both sides of the ankle. But starting off, we just lift the heels up and down. So that's working the front part and supporting muscles and ligaments around the ankle as you lift it up and down. Now, bones and muscles and ligaments can actually move when you Cellercise, because your foot is being challenged to be more flexible than it would be if it was in a shoe. And so as your foot and those muscles and bones start to move, your foot over time takes a little time, but over time starts to become more flexible. And as far as the ankles, on me, you know, and I've been around a while. I've had some mileage. I broke my right ankle. I've got scars on both sides of it because I snapped it and dislocated it, and they had to do surgery on it that night. That was right out of high school, and I was told I would never be able to use it or do some of the things that I'd done before ever again. Nah, not true. And then, I don't know, about 8 years ago, I broke the left ankle in 2 places, slipping on the ice. And once again, doctors know bones and muscles heal faster and grow stronger when exposed to some stress. That's the idea behind the walking cast. Well, I didn't want to cast, so I had the boot put on. The following week, I was in Guam doing a presentation. One of the worst trips I've ever had in my entire life, because I had to keep putting the foot up and down in the bulkhead as it would swell up, and you know, it was horrible. But I get there and I'm hopping around with crutches and a Cellerciser, demonstrating opening up the Cellerciser and grabbing somebody to demonstrate with. It was well received, but when I had it, when I'd broken it, I took my foot, held it over the side of the Cellerciser, and when I was traveling, I just had my crutch to balance myself. I moved up and down to help increase circulation through the one-way valves and to strengthen it. It healed so quickly, especially with somebody my age. It healed so quickly that doctors became my customers. That's powerful.
Okay. Some people have mentioned the challenge. I will make sure that everybody gets invited and you know all about that here on this one. This one I wanted to bring up with you. Her daughter is 34 years old and has spinal fusion at the age of 13. 7 thoracic vertebrae fused due to idiopathic juvenile scoliosis. Can she benefit from Cellercise? Let's see. She even goes in a little bit further here. She says, she has Harrington rods, wires, and screws. she had a 55-degree curve with a 28-degree curve change in 4 years after wearing the Boston and Charleston braces. She sometimes gets muscle spasms from time to time again, and just wondering, will this really help her?
Well, there's things that you can do that will help, but as far as the back is concerned, again, I have to consult with your doctor, or have you consult with your doctor. There are movements that may or may not be appropriate. I don't know your restrictions or what kind of movement you can do. I know that taking the arm up and sticking up over your head, if you can gently tilt and it doesn't interfere with your support system, it can loosen up the muscles. And we just get to the point where we feel a little stretch and we gently bounce, and it massages that tension while it increases circulation. We do the same thing on the other side. I shared some of this the last program, I think, crossing the legs in front, very gentle, but I don't know that you can do twisting. It's wonderful for most people because it helps to loosen up the muscles in a balanced state so that the spine and the vertebral joints can actually move into position. So this is an excellent one I work a lot with chiropractors on. In addition to that, well, just this movement up and down is going to feed circulation through the spinal column. It's going to help move circulation through all body parts and functions. This is less jarring than walking on the ground, so is it beneficial? Of course, but to what degree we can address the back, laying down on the Cellerciser and doing the one I was talking about earlier is a phenomenal exercise. Check with your doctor, it shouldn't be any problem, and because it takes weight off the nerves and starts to loosen up muscles and increase circulation at the same time. That one we've seen some almost miraculous stories with. So, and I'm happy to talk to your doctor.
Okay, I'm going to ask 2 more of these questions. I've got pages here, so I asked 2, but we will go through them, and there will be answers for everybody. Okay, so we have quite a thread going that talks about what does it take to become an instructor.
Okay, let me share some news with you today. We're in the process right now, literally right now, they're still working on it, of updating our website and putting it online. So they're testing it, they're working to get it online, we're going to get it online. The moment we have it online, we're going to introduce our new Mr. Rebounder app. So we want to make sure everything is working well and that the Mr. Rebounder app, which is complete, will interface well within the new site. It should, and barring any unseen challenges, which we've had, I think, our quota of, then we should be introducing that app either later this week or the very beginning of next week. After that is done, we can work on putting together a certification program where we can actually utilize the app to help in training with different exercises and routines. So we can go anywhere from 2 minutes to you can go for hours, depending on what you want to accomplish and what you want to do. So you'll have complete flexibility to create routines that you can actually use on a larger screen, and you can follow along with the routine or learn from the routine or work with either patients or people that you know to put together a routine based upon what they want to accomplish. So I'll talk more about that when we release it, but we do have plans to be able to put together a program. I just don't want to do a real certification program unless it's accredited, unless I can actually give you something worthwhile and of value, so that it's in the plans. We haven't had time to get that completed or worked on yet to where I need it to be. But once we are able to do that, we will launch it, and we'll do it in a way that it has meaning for those who want to pursue it.
Okay, thank you. All right, okay, let's see, which one was I looking at here? Okay. When I bounce on my Cellerciser after waking up, I can feel and hear something responding to the G-force in my left ear. It feels like my ear is popping with every bounce. Have you ever felt that, or any idea what's causing it?
Sure. Yeah, the stirrup, the smallest bone in their ear, which represents a lot of our vestibular balance. As we're moving up and down, blood is actually moving up and down in the air, and the cartilage itself and the pressure changes can actually, depending on how the ear is structured, it can make a little click or it can make a little sound like that. It's not unusual. It can be caused from any number of different things. You could have some wax in the ear as well. But the movement up and down over time, keep in mind you're feeding more circulation to those areas of the ear and those small little capillaries. So we can help promote health in that area as well. It's one of the neat things about Cellercise, again, is it's not limited to certain areas of the body. People say, how can you do your whole routine in 10 minutes? Well, it's simple. If I took this muscle and I applied weight to it 100 times a minute, and I did it for 10 solid minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20% more weight, great exercise of that bicep. Now I got to do this one and all the other body parts. Most of us don't have time for that. When you're Cellercising from the top of your head all the way down to your bottom of your foot, and we've measured this, you're creating almost identically, unless you're altering the angle of your body in different positions, you're working from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your foot with weight, and it's on every single cell, not just certain areas.
Okay, so I actually had somebody ask me, you had taken us through us once before, but I think it would be a good reminder at the Jamba Run. Everybody has their hate-love relationship with it. I do too. Now they want.
I do too.
You had demonstrated it on the floor where you could see how it was supposed to be positioned before you got onto the Cellerciser. Would you just take a quick moment and show us how they can know to feel that they're in the right position, feeling? I mean, I get like this right now and I can feel the burn.
Right.
You know, it's just, you can feel the pressure on it. But I'm going to move this so that people can see you a little bit better.
The sun's moving, huh? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So if you just stand there and put your hands on your thighs, standing straight up, put your hands on your thighs and feel them with your fingertips. And you can do this with me right now. For those who haven't done this, it's kind of interesting. The muscles are, you know, you can feel them. If you keep your back straight and your feet flat, and you bend at the knee, you're going to feel those muscles, and now they're working. They're very tight. Back is upright, and you're putting the weight on the muscles. You're working the muscles. If you continue to hold on to those muscles, and now you bend over, forward, you feel how soft the muscles get. Well, football players do a technique, I call it the football run, where they bend over a little bit. They get up on the balls of their feet, which takes all the weight off of the thighs, and they run really, really fast like this, which is okay. But that's nothing compared to doing the Jamba Run. Now the Jamba Run, you can't do it on the ground, because if I were to try to run flat-footed like this on the ground, I'd hurt my back. It's too jarring. But on a Cellerciser, we can bend at the knee, keep our back straight and our feet flat. You can run pushing down into the mat. You're not lifting your feet up off the mat. You're pushing down left, right, very, very quickly. There's a Jamba Run. And by keeping your back straight, you keep the weight on the thighs. Having a balance bar to hold on to helps you sit back a little bit so you're over the middle of your foot when you do the Jamba Run. So my foot might be slightly coming up, but it's not very much. And that is intense. If I lean forward, it gets easier. So you want to keep the back straight, because that's where all the benefit is coming. It is so intense that I had a doctor actually tell me, they said, David, that is so intense, it will probably grow new capillaries. Well, and I've talked about that, women with cellulite, and the lack of capillaries or circulation causes the white adipose tissue to form, and it gets harder. It pushes its way up through the epidermis, and it looks like cottage cheese. A lot of people have it. It just hasn't pushed up through the surface. But when you don't have circulation, they try all these various different methodologies to break up the cellulite. But it just comes back, because until we address the cause of the problem, and not just the symptom, it's going to continue to occur. When we increase circulation, heat, and that's the Jamba Run does that. When we increase the heat and the circulation, then we can start to burn off that cellulite. And we have several women who have written us incredible testimonials. And they really went at it hard. But how they did it, they were doing repetitions of the Jamba Run almost 20 minutes a night, watching Friends and some other show on TV. So that, and keep, the Jamba Run doesn't just burn calories, it also increases metabolism. So I had to back off of it because my metabolism was getting too high.
Okay. Alrighty, those are going to be the questions that we'll ask tonight, but we'll get all the other ones answered as well.
Good.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about Cellercising and versus traditional, or did we pretty much cover what we needed to?
Just traditional exercise. Again, we're the only species in the world that has bought into it. You'll never see a dog, cat, monkey, or any other species of animal out there pumping iron weights or doing some of the insane programs we see on TV today. And yet they're very strong, they're very agile. Nothing wrong with those programs. If you want to do it, that's great. The average person just doesn't have time for that. When we're Cellercising, we're not limiting the effect. It's on the entire body, and we're not tearing down to build up, so we can do it every day, several times a day. That's another advantage of Cellercise. We don't limit the effect. It is weight bearing. It will give you an enormous amount of strength. It's not going to make you look like a bodybuilder, okay, or bulk up, but it's not bad, okay, because your ability to perform increases, and that's what we want. You know, I'm not what I was when I was in my 20s or 30s, but you know, I just do my Cellercise, and it's still, I don't know if you can tell or not, but
I'll be so pleased.
Well, it's this here is a lot more intense when you come down with that kind of weight on your body than just doing a sit-up, which is very limited to a small group of muscles. But when I tilt all the muscles through the whole front part of the body, if I tilt my head back, I'm now working underneath the neck and the chin as well. And so jogging at an angle or kicking your feet out at an angle. Thanks. I was stuck on the cord. It's leveraging the weight. This is real. I believe, and I've said it before, I believe every body needs it for so many reasons. Circulation, balance and equilibrium. It challenges our balance mechanism. We're not born with balance. It's a physiological function. I don't care what your age is. We can lose balance at any age, and we can retrieve it as well. And the movement up and down challenges our balance mechanism. Babies jump up and down in the crib and the couch. It's natural. We get to a certain age, we live a horizontal existence. We stop jumping up and down, we lose our balance. But there's more. You know, I teach different movements that are designed to focus on different areas of the body. If we have knee problems, hip problems, back problems, shoulder problems, neck problems, I demonstrate different movements that address each one of those areas. Digestion, elimination, the smooth muscles, that's all Cellercise. Most of you know somebody that could benefit from what we're offering. We're grassroots. We don't have a big corporation or business working with us. We're doing this through you, literally. When I began, I had, and you may have heard me share this, I had nearly half a dozen infomercial opportunities. And I wouldn't compromise the integrity of the product for the message. And there's some great stories, and I'll write about those in the book. I've been doing that. But it's not about selling units. That's not where our passion is. It's about helping you get results. It's about working with you. It's about working with your trainer. It's about working with your doctor or your health practitioner. It's about helping you reach a better quality of life so you have more energy. The mitochondria within all the cells, as it increases, your energy level goes up, and since it's not limiting the effect, you find this enormous amount of energy that you didn't even know you could have because you're challenging your body at a cellular level. And as the quality of your life improves and you are able to experience more, life becomes more enjoyable. That's what we want to do.
I agree. I agree. My life has been way more enjoyable since January 1st. Good. All right. We're going to draw for these videos really quick.
Okay.
I'm going to let you pull the names out of here. And
we'll do this again.
There's 3 that we're going to give.
Yep, so we're going to give three DVDs out. All right. And the first one is
Amy Stuck. Okay.
Congratulations,
so our first
Amy.
one is Amy. I'm going to put that over there so I don't get it mixed up. Let's get our second one in here.
All right. And the second one is, oh, I'll put that one back in.
That's okay. Aw, Jill, you won. Jill Samter. She's online with us. I've seen her on there. Okay, then our third one.
Thanks, Jill. If nothing else, most of you may already have this DVD. And if you do, you can share it with somebody that you think it might really make a big impact on. And we should have, with our new website, we should have digital, digital downloads. So, go ahead.
Want me to read it?
Yeah.
Barbara York.
Barbara York.
Hey, I'll make sure those get sent out. You might get a cute little note from me in there. I'm sure I'll pull off something cute like that. Okay, so I guess we're on to me.
Yes, tell us how you're doing and what's happening.
I'm doing better.
Good.
It's been a good week. It's been a hectic week. And so I've been trying to build up. I work for a college that's local here, and we're at the end of the semester. So it's not just enough to work for the college and deal with the students. I decided to take 13 credits myself. So I'm in 5 classes, and the exams and the final projects are piling on. So I've been Cellercising, I guess I can't say harder, but maybe with a little more intensity.
Good. A
little bit longer, because I have felt I needed all the help I could get to get through this. I usually, in the past, I would do a major thing like this and then I would just crash. I would be down in bed for a couple days. My fibro would have kicked in at full throttle. I would be in so much pain I couldn't even function. I haven't hit that.
So, well, you're not going to.
And I'm not going
That's
to.
Right.
And so, and I really honestly believe that. I'm not going to hit that. And so we'll get to the end of the semester here, and I'm excited for that. So I've been doing this. I've been following Tammy. I like when Tammy does her incentives to keep you going. It doesn't hurt to have somebody you check in with. And so that's been exciting. My husband's joined in and doing the 30-day with us.
All right.
And he comes every week and joins us here. And I actually was naughty and added a slight change to my routine. So I've been doing the one where you, and I actually can do it, yes.
See, you built up.
The first time I tried that,
there you go.
If you had recorded it, it would have been a hilarious YouTube video. But now I have a much better core. I actually can hold myself up, and I was like, I'm getting there. And that was super exciting for me. So you tell me what you think if I should keep going, or if I need to add something else to my routine.
Let me ask you a question. Is there a way that you can have a Cellerciser in your office that you could use occasionally during the course of the day?
I could pack mine up and take it with me.
Okay, I want to talk to you about that, because if you could keep your metabolism at a higher level, and do that several times a day for short periods, you don't have to be on long, just boost your metabolism, you're going to have faster results. And then as far as, yes, you've been working enough, challenging on balance, core, so that jogging at an angle is good. And now if you can leverage the weight,
I'm excited about that one.
Good.
I really, I want to tighten, I want to get rid of my nice little chicken waddle,
I would open the mouth.
Open the mouth up? Okay.
Otherwise, as I've learned, you stretch the skin more. But open your mouth when you tilt backwards a little bit, so that the muscles are working, but the skin
that's like flexing them, kind of.
Yeah, it'll happen naturally.
In a different way.
Yeah, you're just opening up. Now the skin will flex around the muscle anyway. So it's kind of like that.
So just keep the mouth open. Okay.
And it starts to tighten.
So if
better,
I pack this up with me and take it to work with me, which isn't a big deal.
Okay.
And I'm sure that all those students that come through will think I'm in the front area. Okay.
There you go.
And so what should I do?
The strength and balance test on every one of them.
Okay.
No.
I will. You know what? I think I will. I think I actually might see if I can't steal you away briefly and have you come do that, and we'll videotape. Because these students are not doing this. And so they're the best people to test it on. But if I'm going to Cellercise and exercise while I'm at work, do I do my 10-minute routine, or is there something really quick that I need to be focusing on?
You get on there and you either run fast for a minute or count, you know, if you can, start off 20 seconds. Okay. Fast for 20 seconds. Or do the Jamba Run. Okay. And when you're done doing it, gently bounce until you have your breath. Okay. And then
keep going until
keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. But if you do it several times, it doesn't take the place of your 10-minute routine.
Right, but it's in addition to my 10-minute routine.
Our objective is keep the metabolic processes up higher, so you're gonna get faster results.
Okay. Good. Alrighty. So I'm excited. I'll list on the video what I'm doing, and then add on that if you can throughout the day, add a quick little burst like that for those that are following along and keeping up with me.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
All right. Oh, and we were going to talk about animals real quick.
Yes. So Dave posted on there, and I've been watching it because I don't have any pets within my home. Yeah. I have children who like to get on my Cellerciser, so I almost consider them the same thing. But I know that's kind of rude. They'll probably be mad at me for saying that. But
some group will. Right.
Well, they're great. My two little girls are fantastic. So you had asked, does your pet like to Cellercise with you? I've been amazed at watching that half of the so half people do and half haven't. And so some people have posted their picture, and so I'm going to reach out to them if that's okay with you. If you have any simple 10-second or less footage of you Cellercising with your pet, I want you to send it to me. I lovingly just finished a digital media video editing class, which I have absolutely loved, and just did a Final 4, which I loved. And I did it in a year of the life of my children, so it was really exciting to put together for them. But I want to put this together of people exercising with their pets. So if you don't mind doing that, that would be fantastic. If you can send that, you can even just send it through Messenger to you, and you'll make sure that I get it. Great. Or they can email it. Do you want it to come here, or do you want me to give them my email address? What would you prefer? It'd
be probably safer to go to your email address. That way I don't miss it.
Okay. So send it to mine, and I'm going to put it here, and I'll type it up there. You're going to all just die because it's really long. So I apologize. Okay. So Christine Hanks, which that just in itself is long, the number 15 @gmail.com. So not too bad, but it is kind of lengthy. Yeah, so Christine Hanks 15 @gmail.com. Send me those videos if you happen to have those of you Cellercising with your pets, and we're going to put something fun together that we're going to put out on social media.
That sounds great. I want to conclude with one thought. If you're involved with school and you're doing studies right now, or you have children that are studying or memorizing or needing to learn or have dyslexia or having to retrain the brain, I'd like to ask you to get on the Cellerciser while you're learning or memorizing whatever it is you're memorizing. When we're on a Cellerciser, we're stimulating up to 90% of brain activity. So the brain is it's operating at a much higher level because it's got to control our balance and different movements. And as we're doing these different movements, if you will, and I could just tell you story after story. If it's children that have dyslexia, if you have the ability to put something on the screen that they can read while they're bouncing, let us know the results. If you're memorizing something, do it, say it out loud, read it, say it out loud while you're bouncing, and tell us how it goes for you. We have seen some remarkable results, and I'd like to add some of those stories so that people will recognize the value. It does help reduce stress, and yes, we can learn better when we're not under stress. But I really believe that there's a chemical process occurring within the brain that leaves a stronger impression at the bottom of the bounce. And if that's true, could it be that that's why people are able to learn things faster and retain them longer? And even in many cases, once they've learned it, the 13 colonies, for example, being able to see it so clear in their mind that they can repeat it backwards. It's fascinating. So it's ongoing work that we're doing, and we'd love to have that to share with other people too.
I will do that for one of my classes.
Good.
I have a psychology class that I'm loving. I love how the mind works. It's actually been a field that I've been working towards and working with drug addictions.
Okay.
And so, but I am excited. I've struggled in that class memorizing things.
Ah,
so
good.
the final's coming up. So I really actually am going to see if I can get a much better score than I've been able to pull off, and just see how it goes. And I'll report on that as well. So if anybody else tends to do it, or their children do, send us in the report on how it goes.
See it, read it out loud, and then see what you're reading in your mind as you're bouncing.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
I will do that. All right. So I think that's everything I've got. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Or?
No, I look forward to next week. If you have anybody that you think might benefit from some of our programs, please share it with others, and let's see if we can't help improve their quality of life as well. Thank you so much for who you are, what you do, and what you mean to us. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next week.